Hi, welcome to the Zone Live. This is our second version of this. I'm Jack Stallard. I'm sports editor at the Longview News Journal. To my left is Hayden Henry. He's our Longview beat writer. To my right is Brandon Ogden. He covers a little bit of everything for us. He'll be covering this week. He's going to actually travel a little bit and go see Gladewater at Athens. Got some big games coming up. Hope you've done your homework. Hope these guys have done their homework. If not, here's our homework cheat sheet. This is the Zone. Be sure and check it out. This will come in the Longview and Marshall newspapers tomorrow morning, and all the capsules and previews will also be on ETVarsity.com. So lots of football, lots to talk about this week. So let's get right to it, guys. Let's start with one of the big games in town. Brandon, talk to us a little bit about Kilgore and Pine Tree.
This should be a good one. Kilgore, they've had 2 weeks off since their 42-7 win over Marshall. Pine Tree's 2-0. They're averaging 53 points per game, but they've also given up a lot of points, a lot of yards. But even with that, their defense has made big plays. Last week they picked off 2 passes in the end zone, forced 6 turnovers despite giving up 49 points and nearly 700 yards. It should just be an interesting game with Pine Tree's offense against that Kilgore defense. It'll be interesting to see if Dalvin Mans and Mason Hayden, those guys for Pine Tree, can keep it going against the 5th-ranked team in 3A.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Dalvin Mans, and you mentioned Mason Hayes especially. Dalvin was just named Built Ford Tough Player of the Week. That's a statewide honor. That's in Class 4A. And you mentioned Mason Hayes. Go ahead and plug your story a little bit. We've got a story on him coming in tomorrow's News Journal. So
this year alone, he already has 14 catches for 474 yards and 6 touchdowns, averaging almost 34 yards a catch, nearly 28 yards a catch for his 2 years combined. He's only a junior. He's just put up big plays. He's had a 94-yarder this year, a 64-yarder. I mean, the guy's just made big plays through 2 games so far.
Okay. Yeah, this should be an interesting game. I'm kind of curious to see what Kilgore can do after having a week off and preparing for this high-powered offense. A couple other games. Let's get to one of the big ones in 3A, Chapel Hill and Carthage. Hayden, what are you going to tell us about that one?
It's going to be nothing short of a dog fight if we're going to go there. But both schools, in 3 games have already put up over 1,000 yards. Blake Bogenschutz is averaging over 330 yards per game in the air. So, Chapel Hill is one of those schools that they're in that district of doom back there behind Gilmer and Kilgore, so they're kind of going under the radar, but that's a team to watch out for. I think this would be definitely a good game to go catch.
Yeah, I think maybe Chapel Hill's playing with a little bit of chip on the shoulder. Everybody's definitely talking about Kilgore, everybody's talking about Gilmer, obviously, and talking about Carthage, not in the same district, but they're ranked number 1. Chapel Hill wants a little respect. This is not a bad program. This is a program that won a state championship 2 years ago. They slid a little bit last year, but that would be a signature win for that program.
Definitely.
Another big game, 3A versus 2A, is Spring Hill and White Oak, and this one, this one should be a lot of fun. That's the game Hayden's going to be covering. Tell us a little bit about that one.
It's always a fun game when the 2 rivals get together. This is the 45th time they met, and the series is tied even 22-22. So that always adds to it. This year, Spring Hill is still trying to get things going offensively, but their defense has really stepped up this year. But I don't know if they're gonna have some issues handling that high power offense coming from White Oak.
Yeah, White Oak's just Dylan Gale at quarterback and Jansen McCurdy. Reminds me of the combination that Pine Tree has. Just big play after big play, and that offense has been clicking. Not just since the season started, but in 7-on-7 football, they lit it up. In their scrimmages, they were unstoppable, and in the 2 games, I think they've scored 39 and 35. So they're on a roll.
When you talk about White Oak's offense, they've also only allowed 17 points in 2 games, and they're going against a Spring Hill offense that's struggled to score. The first game they scored 24 points, but 2 of those were defensive touchdowns. So it's going to be interesting to see if Spring Hill's offense can get going against a White Oak defense that's pretty good too.
Absolutely. And Spring Hill's, they're struggling on offense. They're going to need the type of defensive game they played in the first game against Pleasant Grove, where they forced a lot of turnovers, swarmed to the football, did a lot of good things there. So that should be a lot of fun anytime those 2 get together. Game I'm looking forward to is Henderson-Hallsville. This is a 4A matchup here, 4A against a 3A. Henderson needs a win. I mean, I'm not used to seeing Henderson Lions at 0-2, and I know, there's been a coaching change. There's been a lot of different things going on, and they play two good teams. Nacogdoches, I don't think we traditionally talk about Nacogdoches as a good football team, but they got a lot of talent. They got a couple of Division I, FBS type guys. They're playing some good football. Henderson's just struggling right now. They're giving up a lot of points, but again, that's coming against two pretty good teams. Hallsville, Hallsville's 1-1. The Bobcats just kind of took it on the chin against White House, which is going to happen to a lot of teams. And then they bounced back with a good win last week. So, Hallsville wants to keep things going. Let's talk a little. We want to skip one game because I want to make sure we're able to get in some Longview information here. Hayden's been on some semi-breaking news here. Breaking news other than drama, and we really still don't know what's going on. But it's Lobos. So tell us what you.
Well, it all goes about Olive Branch's quarterback Ross Trail, highly recruited, as Brandon brought up a minute ago. Highly recruited quarterback. He transferred into Olive Branch at the beginning of the season and was ruled ineligible by Mississippi's UIL, their form of it. So he tweeted earlier today that he was eligible, but now they're coming back, and a rep from Mississippi's athletic organization is saying that he is still ineligible. So who really knows at this point? Twitter is blowing up with it. I guess we'll see Saturday when the Conquistadors take the field who's at the helm for them. And that's a very good team that the Longview is going to see on Saturday. Mississippi has a 6A, and this Olive Branch is number 4 in 6A. So there's some big boy football coming to meet Lobos in Shreveport.
We're playing that one at Independence Stadium in Shreveport. One thing the fans and the readers need to know about this game, this is a scheduled 7:30 kickoff. We've talked to John King, and he said it, and I agree. I'll be surprised if this game starts before 9 o'clock. Now, don't plan on showing up at 8:30 and getting mad at me if they've already kicked off. But the way they've got this triple header scheduled over there, I just don't see them allowing enough time in between games for that thing to start at 7:30. So I would expect a little late kickoff on that. And by that late kickoff, that means that there's a slight possibility we won't have a full game story in the News Journal Sunday morning because our deadlines. We're going to try, and if not, we will have a up to the minute game story. What Hayden can get us at our press time, and then we'll have it online at ETVarsity.com, and we will come back Monday with a full story and a box score and some more photos. So just be a heads up on that one that game may be running a little late.
And it's going to be a good one. Olive Branch is bringing a high, potent defense that Coach King said that you don't know where they're going to line up. They got a guy named Alfred Dickens. He's a linebacker, wears number 4, already committed to Ole Miss. He's seen line up on the line at linebacker and then kick out and cover receivers. So they're going to be changing up things that way. And then with Trail in the offense, they're averaging 416 yards per game through 3 games. One of them was a 71-3 or 71-0 below up. The one before that was over an equally ranked team. So they're
but we're talking Texas now.
Yeah.
They hadn't played Texas yet.
And we've seen that on Twitter. The Texas better than Mississippi, so that's adding to it. For the Lobos, King told me, like he says every week, is the battle is going to be up front. And Longview's got to open up the game up front, establish the running game behind Hasty, who busted up 250 yards last week. So they do that, then Chumley can come in through the air with the Dorian Leonard and even Hasty lined out outside. So we're looking for a good one Saturday.
Should be good. And I'll go ahead and start the smack talk with Mississippi. I don't care if there's anybody from Mississippi watching. This is real football. Yes, we're playing in Louisiana, but we're still playing Texas now. So come and prove it. And you can call me next week and tell me I was wrong. But I'm picking the Lobos in this one. All right, I guess one final game that there's a lot of interesting games, but one that really kind of jumps out to me, obviously, is Gilmer Buckeyes and Jacksonville. This one, they're playing that one at the historic Tomato Bowl. Love going to that stadium. Jacksonville, it's kind of a hard team to figure. They've lost back-to-back games despite scoring 28 points in one game and 35 in another. So you can see that they can score a few points, but they've given up 42 and 56. So they're not stopping anybody, and they're about to play a Gilmer team that can score against anybody. Gilmer scored 66 last week against Plano Prestonwood. So I look for Gilmer to put a lot of points on the board in that one. What do you think, Brandon?
Exactly. I mean, Tanner Barr is off to a tremendous start for Gilmer. But Jacksonville on the same side has, a good quarterback in Carter McCown. That's why they're scoring. But going into the season, people around District 16 4A had said, Jacksonville's defense, I mean, they graduated 30 guys from last year, and most of them were on that defense, and then their receivers. So McCown's obviously found more receivers to throw to, but that defense took some hits, and it's showing early. And now they got to go against a Gilmer team that's just been, putting up some points early.
Okay.
Here we go. This is coming out from Fox 13 in Memphis. It said Ross Trail will be able to play for Olive Branch. There has been a stay issued by the Mississippi Supreme Court in this matter. So looks like we're going to see Trail on the field Saturday and finally put this all behind us. Who really cares? Except what happens on the field Saturday.
Well, maybe I stand corrected. Mississippi does take things a little serious over there, getting the Supreme Court involved. But anyway, that should be that. To me, I like that. I would rather Longview go, and I know John King would too. You want to play a team that's at its best.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't want any excuses if you go over there and beat them like they stole something. Then there's just, that way you can talk smack and then really back it up.
Which is the whole point of this thing in the first place, despite their scheduling issues that were going to keep us there till midnight maybe. But, there's a lot of good games going on Friday and Saturday over at the Independence Bowl. I think $15 ticket gets you in for both days, so
exactly.
Go check it out.
All right. Guys, what else interests you? Any other games that I have overlooked? I kind of made a little list there, and we've gone through them. But what are some of the other key games you think about this week?
Well, Pittsburgh and New Boston, they're both 2-0. I mean, that should be a good, interesting matchup. Both teams are off to a hot start. And then I'm going to Athens tomorrow night between Athens and Gladewater. You get Athens, they've scored a lot of points early. Devin Hall's been a really good running back for them. Anthony Sanders. But they're going against that Gladewater defense that features Dalen Mack, one of the top defensive tackles in the nation. So that's going to be fun to watch tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Okay. That's those are some of the bigger games that come to mind. It's football time, guys, and be on the lookout. If you go to the Spring, one thing I forgot to mention, if you go to the Spring Hill White Oak game, take with you a gift card or a phone card. They're doing something special for military families. They're going to have drop boxes at both ticket boxes. This is a way to help the families of the people. We've got men and women fighting for us overseas, different places around the world, and you can, their families are still here. And there's still, some of them are struggling to make ends meet. Take a gift card. Take a phone card over there, help them out a little bit. There'll be drop boxes there, and you can bring a thank you card. They'll get these thank you cards to our military men and women. So something extra you can do on top of seeing a pretty good football game tonight. Well, I think, unless Scotty tells me different, we're about to wrap this thing up. We didn't get any questions today. I'm going to push it next week. Tell all my friends I know everybody talks high school football, so we'd love to have your questions. We don't want to just sit up here and ramble. We want to know what you want to know. So be coming back next week, 5:30, every Thursday during the season. Just log on to ETVarsity.com and ask us some questions. We'll tell you what we know, and if we don't know it, we'll make it up.